I have on my show a fellow music composition major. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Xavier Chapman. As Carlos said, I am also a music composition major.
Yep, we go to the same school,
Me too.
and we're in our senior year, and we're just a few months away from graduating and having our senior recitals. And we wanted to give you an honest conversation about what it's like being a music comp major and whether or not it's worth it for you if you're thinking that's the route you want to go. Yeah, tell me what it's like in the shoes of someone that's new to writing music when they first come to college, and how music school treats people that don't have like a ton of experience, because I know a lot of my viewers don't start music until really late in life. So what is that like?
I was worried because a lot of music schools are very hard, with your auditionees and stuff like that. So finding a school that'll be able to let you learn and then master your craft was a blessing. I'm so glad I came here. It was hard at first because I felt I had imposter syndrome. I felt like I didn't belong because I had, you and other people.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Who are came in yeah, I've been writing music for 2 years. I'm huh. But being able to tell myself that it's okay to not be good, it's hard.
For sure. But I mean, you've shown so much growth over 4 years that, it's almost a success story of what people can do if they stick to something and they have the drive to do it.
Yeah.
What made you decide to major in music comp when you haven't composed much beforehand?
So I am very much a person that plays a lot of video games, and I took significant appeal to the music in the games and stuff like that. And I would listen to music and it would make me feel emotions and impact me in ways that not much things did, and it helped me to process things, a lot of emotions, stuff like that. And in my mind I said, I want to do that. I want to be able to write music that helps people process their emotions, that makes them feel things, whether it be sadness, anger, joy, everything that. That was my goal, and what has been helping me to get that past that barrier of I'm not good enough, because I want to make people feel good.
One of my main mission statements, I guess, as a composer is to affect the people in the audience and give them a transformative experience. And some people do it for other reasons, for more superficial reasons, but I think if you have that genuine passion to make good stuff for other people, that's almost enough reason to decide to pursue something like this. But of course there are a lot of risks with plunging into a music education. Tell me about those risks, Xavier.
Unfortunately, it's hard to have a job security. That is the big thing everyone tells you, oh, are you sure you want to do that? You're not going to get a job. It's well, yes. But also, I am a firm believer is if you are passionate enough about something, you'll make it work. You'll find the opportunity, stuff like that. Yes, there aren't apparent job securities, but if you are very passionate about the subject, you are able to find those opportunities, be able to do it in places that you may not have thought of before. It's also very scary, because especially when you're seniors and you're I graduate in a couple months. Oh no.
You can't really have a job lined up if you do this kind of freelance artist work.
I am a firm believer that composing music is a learned skill. There are people who it comes to them, and it's like every other skill. Some people are just born with the ability to do things. Music comp is something that is a learned skill, and I think in my experience I've come to realize that, because I didn't have the ability. My first pieces of music were garbage, and that's okay. I may not want to think about it anymore, but
just like any skill, you kind of get better by doing, and that's been one of the hardest things, is to make it a consistent practice, especially when you you have to battle writer's block, and you're going through personal things. That's, I don't know. How do you navigate that?
It's
It's not something that really
Yeah.
goes away. You kind of have to fight against
you kind of just you live with it and learn how to deal with it. It's hard, and the first couple times, like when you have these like emergencies, these issues that come up, and it's so hard to fight through to be able to do it. And sometimes it is okay to just not. If it's that bad, like you should take a break because your writing is going to be impacted by it. On the other side, if you feel like writing is something that helps you, but you're worried about the project, move on to something else. Start something new that you can do that you won't have to worry about messing it up or whatever because of everything that's going on.
Yeah, but it just pushes the needle so you get some output at least.
Something.
Get the momentum going.
And it helps distract you too. There's been many times where I didn't want to compose, but after pushing to myself, it took my mind off because I didn't think about it. I was just thinking about making music.
What are some of the main benefits that you can get at getting a music degree, being immersed inside of like a music education as opposed to just self-learning the art?
Reaching out and making connections with people. Because
that's what I've been saying.
Because I could have learned everything that I have done by myself, but there's been countless times where I've come to you and been like, hey, I have this, I don't know what's wrong with it, but I need something to change, like what do I do? And you've helped me out multiple times. So being able to make those connections to have that is imperative. And you can do that.
Do like a composer forum or something like that. But
you can reach out to people, stuff in your area, but it's harder.
It is. They don't there's not as much incentive for random people on the internet to like help you with your specific issue. One, they don't know anything about your background. They don't really know like what your ambitions are. Finding peers that are in the same shoes as you, it kind of is self-motivating because you're all kind of going through the same thing. Yeah, it's much easier to work with people that are in the same shoes as you.
Yeah.
What are the resources here that you can't get?
Biggest one is faculty. Our professor is the reason why I keep going, because they're so insightful and knowledgeable on the subject that like I trust them with giving me feedback on the things that I write because they've been doing it for however many years. And if you're writing for like flute, we have a flute professor that we can go to and be like,
that's true.
Can you look at this for me and tell me what's playable, what's not, what is difficult, or like what is something that's easy?
That's true.
Like I've gone to our string professor for bowings and I'm like, is this good? And then they'll be like, no.
Yeah.
Or yeah, cool.
Yeah, especially if you're in like an area like where you live, there's not like wide access to those kind of people, like those professionals. This ecosystem where you can always like ask for insights on things, just having ready access to musicians in general to play your music. I think that's a good segue into just like getting your music performed, which is almost impossible to do without like, paying a lot of upfront money. I know school is expensive, but like you that's already set up for you. There's less friction in getting your music performed just because you meet all these musicians who are your friends and then they want to play your music. That's just what they do.
And also, we have the benefit of like we're lucky that we have a recording studio here, and it's free for us to use.
True.
We can get professional grade like recordings of our music, which you won't get otherwise, or it'd cost like an arm.
That's true. And just like practice rooms, performance halls and spaces. But of course, got to bring it back down to reality. The cost of school is extremely high, especially for something in our profession where you don't make back that initial investment right away, or even at all. Probably the number one turnoff, and that's what was like weighing me down when I was deciding to go to school. Was like, what is it worth it enough to like pursue something like this and potentially like get into like serious debt?
For me, it was too. It was like a risk because it's like I'm gonna be spending all this money to hopefully learn a skill that I don't have right now. am I willing to do this? And I'm lucky, I was in a position where I could. Am I in crippling debt? Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
that makes two of us.
Having all the money that I've spent, but all the experiences and people and all the things, like, definitely it weighs more. And I'm lucky to have been able to come here at the time that I was, because I've been able to meet people like you, meet my fiance. Like, it's crazy that all this in trade for some money.
It's really just the connections that you make. I think that's just the number one thing that will help you land a gig somewhere. And
plus, it's, I mean, it's school dependent, obviously, but like, I have been able to pursue my own kind of my route. You and I are very much split off.
Yeah, that's true.
But I've been given the chance to be able to grow, to experience that, and it's led to me to have some opportunities, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Xavier does more media stuff, and I do more traditional composition things. Depending on what school you go to, because some of them try to pigeonhole you into like one style of writing and just one thought process. At least where we go, it gives us that ability to kind of choose our own path. And it's tailored to us, and that's what you should look into if you're deciding to go to school, is meet the faculty, of course, and see if they actually have a genuine interest in like wanting to help you, and seeing what kind of options they have for you based on what your aspirations are.
The reason why I'm here is because of the faculty. I was able to meet up with them, and yes, the programs that we had I really enjoyed, and that was a big part, but I had made such a connection with the faculty here that I was like, I can see myself here. And I think I did the right decision.
I would have to say the same. If you guys have any questions about what it's like in the thick of things, we're almost on our way out, preparing for our recitals and things like that. So if you have any just questions about what it's like to pursue this little major, then let us know. I'll link Xavier's contact information because they obviously do a lot more different things than me. And I feel like that's the more popular route right now, is to pursue the media composition. But yeah, thanks, Xavier.
Thank you.
Goodbye.